It's on the table. So humble myself. Thank you. Om Aginatamurandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshmatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapatam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadanti Swam Vedantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapatakamam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shyam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Shajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sakana Lalita Shri Vishavitam Cha Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagate Gopisha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanshan Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhana Sudhadevi Pranamani Haripriye Namarum Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Sanyavadi Praskajayati Sattva Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, he had a certain schedule. And in the mornings, he would go to the bank of the river Jamuna, and he would chant the holy name of the Lord. And then in the afternoon, people would come and he would preach. And he preached the most important thing, which is the glories of the holy name. That's what he preached about. There are many examples of Lord Chaitanya wanting to chant. It's called Nabritya-stan. And Nabritya-stan means solitary place. Stan, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Chatsworth-stan, Bottle-brush-stan. We're going to put up a sign there saying, Bottle-brush-stan. So Nabritya means solitary, or Niranjana Desh, or Niranjana Vasa. Vasa, it means residence, it also means clothes, it also means perfume. This is nectar devotion. So many times Lord Chaitanya would want this solitary place. It's quite interesting. In chapter 9 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Ancha Leela, one of his associates, Gopinath Pratanaikya, was accused of embezzling money, and he was threatened to die. And four people actually, well, on four different occasions, they came to Lord Chaitanya and said, look, he's your dear servant, and he's been, there's a possibility he may die. And Lord Chaitanya responded by saying, I'm a sannyasi, I have no control. It's up to Lord Jagannath. Don't bother me. And in the end, Lord Chaitanya, he told Kasi Misra that people are bothering me too much. I'm going to leave Jagannath Puri and I'm going to go to Alanath, which is down the coast, 20 kilometers. I just want a solitary place. So towards the end of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, it seemed this is really all he wanted. Solitary. Nibritya-stan. And the purpose was to chant Krishna's holy name. That was the purpose. Of course, if we try to imitate, we're going to get in trouble. If I give you a ticket, fully paid for ticket, business class, if not first class, for the ladies, and I say, now you fly to Vrindavan, you fly to Govardhan Hill perhaps, or some quiet place, and we'll take charge of all of your responsibilities and your everything, your house deposits, your mortgage. We'll take complete charge of all of that. You go there by yourself, without cell phone, and without computer, and you just chant all day long. Will you be able to do it? Be honest. No. We're too passionate. We can't do that. So you can't imitate. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the last 4 years of his life, he went into seclusion. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta didn't. Because he was preaching right to the very end. But then he left when he was 62, somewhat younger. Gauravinda Maharaj, he preached right till the last minute. And Prabhupada, of course, also preached. But then spent the last 4 or 5 months in Vrindavan. But so the holy name of the Lord is our most important activity. And this chanting of Krishna's name, it is so powerful that even if you do it unknowingly, Sankecham parihasam va stobam helam evacha vaikunthanama grihanam asheshaga harividu. You understand what that means? Good, then I'll continue. Oh, you don't understand? Oh, Sankecham. Sankecham means indirectly. So this is Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, text 14. Sankecham means what? Indirectly. You chant the Lord's holy name indirectly, without knowing what you're doing. And the famous example is we see the Rama margarine. Some of you take Rama margarine? Anyhow. So indirectly we chant the name of God. So scripture gives us the example of Ajamil. who chanted the Lord's holy name, referring to his what? Son. Putra Uparitaranam. Putra, his son. But he still attained Ajama Apiyaja Dharma. He attained Dharma, the spiritual world. So that's indirectly. Very powerful. Sankecham Parihasam. Parihasam means what? Joking. So sometimes people joke. We would go chanting in London and here also, and people, they imitate and they joke. They make fun of us, but they chant the holy name jokingly. Parihasam. There was someone told me this. It was a comedy film. And this man, very well known, I can't remember the names, and he was at the racing course. And his horse was coming in like second and third. And he was going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But he was a complete kami. But they decided to put that in. So parihasam, so sanketyam parihasam, stopam, musical entertainment. There's 4 types. So I third now, stopam. So what is musical entertainment? Give me some examples. You all know. Musical entertainment. Huh? Flat. Flash. Oh. Do we have any names? Well, it would be Boy George, obviously. And many of these Bollywood things, they're chanting, it's musical entertainment. Sanketyam, Parihasam, Stobam, Helanam. This is the last one. And the last one is the worst. These are all 4 types of namabas. You know what is namabas? The sun has not risen, but still there's light everywhere. But you can't see the sun, but there's light. It's called abas. So you can have namabas, you can have Vaishnava bus. So namabas is of 4 kinds. Indirectly, as I said, jokingly, musical entertainment, and the last one, helanam, neglectfully. So the last one is the worst. And the first one is the least. So helanam means neglectfully. So this is what we are mostly guilty of. Because when we chant Hare Krishna, we know what we're doing, isn't it? You get the beads. You know I am now chanting Hare Krishna. It's not a mistake. It's not like you're seeing an advert of Rama Marjorie. And you're not doing it jokingly. You're trying to be very serious. And you're not doing it out of musical entertainment. It's that last one, helanam, neglectfully. So often we're a little neglectful in our chanting. And therefore you get this idea of us chanting, saying mantra, and then looking around because we're bored. Is it not? And then you decide to stand up and go to the curtain and move the curtain to see what the neighbors are doing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Or with the left hand, you operate your cell phone to find out who has written to you. Or you turn on the Netflix, right? You're still chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, but something's going on the left hand. Mahatma Prabhu, my senior godbrother, would joke. And he'd say, yes, in ISKCON, the left hand is becoming very strong because the right hand is just holding the beads. And the left hand, you do everything. So this verse, very powerful. Sankechum parahasamba stopam helamevacham. Vaikunthanama grihanam asheshaga. Ashesha means unlimited. Aga means sins. Aga, the Agasura demon. Unlimited sins are cancelled out by any one of these four. So we're chanting on a regular basis. So you can understand how fortunate we are. But the problem is we become over-familiar with this chanting, and we don't really recognize our good fortune, or we take it for granted. We take it for granted. This is our problem. So we need appreciation. What is the opposite of taking a person or prasad or the holy name for granted? It would be to appreciate. And the word is avasya. Avasya. It's mentioned about 10 times in the Bhagavatam. To encourage, to appreciate. So the holy name is so powerful. And it doesn't matter when you chant, or who is chanting, or where you're chanting. Doesn't matter where. The one time, pastime with Gopal Guru and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one Vaishnav, or I think it was Lord Chaitanya, was in the habit of biting his tongue when you pass stool or urine, because he felt it wasn't proper. But Gopal Guru, that time Gopal, gave advice that while defecating, you can die. There are instances of people passing away. Therefore, one should always be chanting the Lord's holy name. And Lord Chaitanya said, yes, you've given good advice, and therefore we're going to call you Gopal Guru. He's a resident of Jagannath Puri, Radhakant Temple, disciple of Vakishvara Pandit, Gopal Guru. Of course, chanting can be done out aloud. Vachit, it can be done upamsik, you whisper, or manasa, in the mind. So chanting the Lord's holy name doesn't depend on whether you're born in a low family or a high family. It doesn't depend on desha, kala, patra. Desha means place. Like I said, stan means place, like Rajasthan, but also desha, Bangladesh. Desh means place. And kala means, you tell me, kala, time, patra, circumstances. So the chanting of the Lord's holy name does not depend on time, place, and circumstance. You can do it at midnight. You can do it in the bed. You can do it in the bath. You can do it standing on your head. You can do it whether you're a lady, whether you're a man, whether you're Brahmin, or whether you're born in a Sudra family. Doesn't matter. And even the pronunciation may not be completely correct. Tamal Krishna Maharaj would tell us that the Chinese devotees have a problem pronouncing the word ah. And I went onto the internet just to clarify it. And so they had a Chinese sound for the word ah, and it was nothing like the word ah. So they have a problem saying the word ah. So that means Hare Rama. They're not saying Hare Rama, but Krishna's in their heart, and he knows, and he gives them good result. No problem. So even though you may not pronounce due to perhaps some defect, some people have a defect in speaking. It doesn't matter. Krishna, he sees in your heart. Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me a story that his godbrother, Jayananda Prabhu, confided in him. Now, you know who is Jayananda Prabhu? He helped introduce Rath Yatra. A very wonderful Vaishnava, very wonderful. Joined San Francisco in 1967, passed away 1977 early. So he was in the movement for 10 years. And Prabhupada wrote, he has gone to Krishna Loka. I am sure of this. He has gone to Vaikuntha. He wrote a few letters. It was after 10 years. So one day, Jayananda, he confided in Tamal Krishna Maharaj and said, I'm having difficulty pronouncing the Gayatri mantra. You know the Gayatri mantra, some of you have it. So I'm not sure about my pronunciation. I think it's a little wrong. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj told Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, bring him here, bring him here. So Jayananda sitting down, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And then Prabhupada says, all right, repeat the Gayatri mantra. So Jayananda started repeating it, and Prabhupada started laughing. And he said, it is hopeless. We are actually quite hopeless. But it doesn't matter. Krishna sees your sincerity and reciprocates accordingly. No problem. So Jayananda Prabhu wasn't able to even say the Sanskrit properly, but no harm. He made advancement. And according to Prabhupada, he went to Krishna Loka, he went to Vaikuntha. So this is in contrast to a very nice story in the 6th canto, which shows you how mantras, which are chanted, practicing karma yoga or mystic yoga, don't give the same result. So we've been talking about chanting Hare Krishna or Govinda Jai Jai Gopala, some mantra, but with bhakti, love and devotion. So now I'm giving you an opposite example. King Indra, the king of the demigods, had a Brahmin priest called Vishvarupa. And Vishvarupa offered oblations in the sacrificial fire. But Vishvarupa, on his mother's side, was related to the Asuras, demons. But on his father's side was related to the demigods. So Vishvarupa, in order to please King Indra, verbally and out aloud, offered oblations on behalf of the demigods. But under his breath or in his mind, he offered oblations for the demons. Both. You know, he was like sitting on the fence or compromised. So anyhow, so King Indra, he got to hear about this. Somehow the King Indra found out about this. And King Indra, in a fit of anger, cut his head off. Quite something, huh? Cut someone's head off. So then King Indra had to suffer the sinful reaction of killing a Brahmin. And he did this. He gave that sinful reaction to 4 different types of people. 1/4 was taken by women, 1/4 was taken by the earth planet, 1/4 was taken by water, and 1/4 was taken by trees. It's a whole nother story. So the father of Vishvarupa was called Trista, and Trista wanted revenge. You know what is this? Revenge. I must have revenge. So he did a big sacrificial fire, And he wanted to create a demon that would kill Indra. Tit for tat. He killed my son, I will create the demon who will kill him. So this big yagya was going on, and he started chanting the mantras. My dear Supreme Lord, give me the benediction that I can have a demon that kills Indra. And he said the word Indra Swasta. Indra Swasta. But when he said the mantra, when he said the word Swasta, instead of a short A, it's S. What is it? S. Swasta. S. Satru. S-A-T-R-U. So instead of a short A, he made it a long A. And the whole thing changed. So instead of give me a demon who will kill Indra, it changed to let Indra be the enemy of the demon. So instead of let the demon kill Indra, it changed to let Indra kill the demon. Can you understand? Because he said the word Satra. Satra with a long A. S-A with a long. Now when you have that line on it, it means long. And when it's no line on the top of the A, it's short. So just for that slight mistake, he got the opposite. And sure enough, the demon was born, and very horrendous and frightening. And Indra actually killed the demon. It's in the 6th canto. So I'm giving an example that in mystic yoga, karma yoga, the pronunciation has to be 100%. You have to be the right person, a Brahmin. It has to be at the right time of the day. But in bhakti, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It doesn't matter whether you've had a bath or not. And it doesn't matter if you get the mantra all wrong. Just like us. We get the mantras all wrong. So many times I've heard a kirtan where they go, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramu, 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 Hare Hare. And I wonder, who is this God, Ramu? But it doesn't matter. You get the benefit. So this is how powerful bhakti is. So we have that powerful medicine, the holy name. And the doctor has given it to us. There's numerous doctors. Prabhupada, his disciples, Occidenta, specialists. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan, specialist doctors. But having been given that medicine, what's the next step? You have to take it. And you've got to take it in the right dose. Let's say you're ill and you go to a chemist. It's full of medicine, but you don't have the prescription and you don't know how much to take. What's the use? There's the medicine, but you don't have and then you take the dosage wrong. So the acharyas are giving us prescription. And we have to take it daily, not once every Ekadashi, now and again. Daily, we chant the Lord's holy name. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, in a mood of clearly and lovingly. But it does become difficult because when you do something repeatedly, there is that tendency for it to become what? Mechanical, naturally. So you have to keep on checking yourself. But this chanting of the Lord's holy name really is our most important business. And of the 64 angas of bhakti, this is foremost. It is number one. Or Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, it is the emperor. Under the emperor, there are many kings. Deity worship, Gayatri mantra, these are all subservient. You don't need these to go back to Godhead. Chanting Krishna's holy name. This is so important. So now as New Year's coming, so I humbly request you to try to become more serious about the chanting. You can time yourself. I do it all the time. Because we have two tendencies. Skip the beats and skip the mantra. We skip a couple words. And then if we're not doing that, we're skipping beats. So really to put some effort into this chanting is very important. The lower class devotee, Kanishta Bhakta, will chant out of duty. The intermediate devotee or the madhyam will chant out of taste. Chant out of taste. Always want to chant. Yeah. So take this seriously. And then we try to give this out to other people and get them also to chant Krishna's holy name. So this is the benediction we've been given by our Guru Parampara, his holy name. And within the holy name, as you become purer, Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila. It's in that order. The holy name, first Nam, and then you begin to realize a little about the Rup, the form of Krishna. Hari is actually Radharani. Ram, Radhika Raman. So Nam, Rup, and Guna, the qualities, and then Leela. But this all comes on a higher stage. We're in a somewhat neophyte stage. And we should understand that and recognize that and not try to think we're on some higher stage and pretend. It's not so healthy. So this verse again, Sankecham harihasam sa stopam helam evacham. Vaikuntha nama grihanam asheshaga. Ashesha, unlimited, aga, sins. Unlimited sins. Ajamil had atoned for sins not only in this lifetime, but in millions of other lifetimes. Because in a helpless condition, he chanted the name of God. Although he did not chant purely, he didn't chant Shuddhanam, he didn't chant purely, still, he became eligible for liberation. And then in the Bhagavatam, it says, what to speak of Ajamil, who chanted like that? What to speak of us? We chant with faith. We chant with faith. So we're so much more blessed. These are all verses from Canto 6, Chapter 3 of the Bhagavatam. So Ajamil got such an incredible result. He went back to Vaikuntha. Then what result will we get? Here we are running around, distributing books, December Marathon, doing deity worship, managing, Vaishnava Seva. What result will we get? I think it will surpass Ajamil. I don't think that's a leap of faith. If Ajamil, as soon as he gave the name Narayan to his youngest son, he was absolved from all sinful reactions. Then what result will we get? Because we're chanting for 2 hours every day. And coming to the temple and giving out books, book distribution. So this is our good fortune. We have to stay on this path. And we'll get a result superior to Ajamil. Shri Harinam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Go Premanandi. If you'd like to comment or ask any Questions? Yes? Questions? Ladies? Yes. And the microphone.
Thank you so much. How would we explain this peaceful chanting? Would each chant increase our chanting, or would it to associate more noises and happenings with chanting?
So either we increase our chanting or
We associate with noises and happenings with chanting.
well, both are very important. And the 5 types of bhakti, panch bhakti. First one is Nam Sankirtan, chanting, and the next is Sadhu Sangha. So both are very important. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has mentioned in one commentary that the advanced devotee, when he chants and prays, he's actually associating with himself. So it doesn't seem like he needs too much association. And of course, the advanced devotee, this would be like a Shakti and Bhav. It's all going on up here. But we're on that lower stage, so we need that association. And that's why Prabhupada created ISKCON. So we can associate. We can go to centers and namahatas and associate and hear. So this is also very important. As you become more advanced, that association becomes more specific. And we can use the word sajatiya, which means like-minded. So you tend to want to associate with like-minded. On the higher stage, like-minded means this person is interested in Sakya Ras, this person is interested in Vatsalya Ras, this person is interested in Madhurya Ras. But that's on a very high stage. Then on a lower stage, it may mean, well, we have the same guru, we're in the same mission, we have the same Param Guru, Prabhupada. So that's a more practical way to look at it. Yeah. So to associate, Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually has written in Jaiva Dhamma that real association is actually with a madhyam. That's an intermediate devotee. That's where real association actually begins. Then you may say, all right, I think or I consider myself a little bit more advanced, and these are Kanishta Bhaktas. So do I not associate with them? Do I ignore them? No. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you treat them as guests. So you imagine someone comes to your house, guest. You give them a seat. If they're hot, you fan them. You give them water. You speak nice words. So this is how a madhyam relates to a kanishta. Guest, to encourage. But you don't confide. Guyam prakritiya chate. You're not going to reveal private realizations because they won't understand. So although Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami, Guyam prakritiya chate, 6 ways of associating with Vaishnavas, giving and charity, accepting, taking prasad, offering, and the last one, Guyam prakritiya chate, revealing your mind and inquiring confidentially. It's still not clear, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur has cleared it in a very straightforward way in chapter 8 of Jaiva Dharma, called Vaishnava behavior. But actually the madhyam is that person to whom Guyam Prakritya Chitti, and of course the Uttama. Probably you're hearing this for the first time, but it's all there in scripture, but we're not so familiar with it. So how do you treat a more junior devotees, or use the word neophyte devotees if you like? So as guests. That is the duty of a madhyam, as guests. To encourage, to serve. Anything else you'd like to ask? Yeah, you're allowed to. Two types of pretenders.
And in the second class, I didn't understand why people pretend.
Where are you reading it from? Oh, my book. Two types of pretenders.
And the one is less advanced, they behave less advanced than they actually are. Why would they consider a pretender?
Well, two types of pretenders. One who is not so advanced, but they project the idea that they're very advanced because they want pratishta, which means name, fame, adoration, worship. And the other type, who are far superior, is those who are very advanced, but pretend to not be advanced. Like Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj, spreading fish bones near where he was living. It was an upturned boat. So he wanted to put fish bones there, so people coming to bother him for blessings would see the fish bones and think, oh, he's just pretending, this Babaji is cheating. He's eating fish. So better to be more advanced, but project the idea that you're not so advanced, than the other way around. That you're actually not so advanced, but you want name and fame. So you put on a bit of a show. Is that a bit clearer? So another interesting point that you probably never even heard before is that the Kanishta Bhakta can't properly understand who's a Kanishta, who's a Madhyam, and who's an Uttama. It's a problem. But when you become a Madhyam, especially a Madhyam or a middle Madhyam, you can understand. We have a Madhyam neophyte, a Madhyam middle, and a Madhyam advanced. And then even in that, there's many categories. So the Kanishta Bhakta can't really figure it out. The word is vichar. They can't deliberate. They can't figure it out so much. But a Madhyam has that ability. And they can see who's innocent, who's mixed, who's a bit more advanced, and who's very advanced. Vaishnava, Vaishnav Tada, Vaishnav Tamo. Vaishnav, advanced, most advanced. So I hope I haven't confused you. Anything else you'd like to just... Please hand our illustrious...
Question starts points of a Maya devoted not to be able to recognize any devoted doctrine. So when you begin the path of devotion, you take the master, and the process of selecting the spiritual master, how does it happen?
It's a really good question, and I'm battling to answer it. I really am. But there is something called inspiration. And it may be a little mixed, like a little, some material mixed in with something a little spiritual. But at least it's something. It's something. I'll give you one graphic example. Of course, I'm not mentioning names, but one devotee in Johannesburg. And he's in the kirtan, and at the end of this kirtan, he hadn't chosen his guru, and the guru smiled at him, and he said, "That was it. I knew. He's my guru," because he smiled. I was a little taken back, but at least it's something. It's some type of inspiration. So Lord Chaitanya is very kind, and he'll send Vaishnavas who are taking the responsibility of Diksha gurus. And they may appeal to different people. For instance, someone may be interested in science. So one's Diksha guru may speak a little bit more in the scientific language, like Bhaktivedanta Institute. That's good, no harm. And some may appeal more to kirtan, and some may appeal more to so many different things. We have different aspirations. Drama, that's a good one. And you get inspired. And that's what it's all about. Spiritual life means to be inspired. And we go forward in devotional service. And if at some point after 10 or 20 or 30 years, you may understand something more about Sambandhana Gyan, there's something called Siksha Guru. And it's completely bona fide. You can have Siksha Guru. And our line puts more emphasis on Siksha Guru than Diksha Guru. If you trace back from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the present gurus, I think it's 7 Siksha and 2 Adiksha. So there's no harm. Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, equal and identical manifestations of Krishna's mercy. No harm. Anything else? Any other controversial, tricky question? Aha! The master of all tricks. I'll never be able to answer it.
Does not mean which is sincere, guidance from Shastra. All the symptoms of the Dhamma expressed. So, guided by Shastra, I started a unified devotee can see through the eyes of Shastra more advanced devotee. Doesn't include learning the scripture, doesn't include Krishna. These are the two main things. One is for and spiritual master. So one must not sentimentally look for the spiritual master. One must see through the eyes of the stars and through the eyes of the Shastra. So Kanishka can see through that, but it's just a sentiment, and yes, what do you do?
Very good point. Anything else you'd like to?
I'm not pleased with the sun also only the man who
I didn't hear everything. Smita, what was it?
Shivaji is asking because Ajamil became liberated.
Oh, yeah.
Calling the name Narayan. Does that also impact the child spiritually? Does the child also become liberated? Life was one of the rules.
Oh, the Ajamel's child. Prabhupada has written in a commentary, first canto, chapter 19, text 35, that, but it may not be that, but it's, do you remember? That Krishna looks after the family members of a devotee, and even if the family members are not interested in devotional service, Krishna takes special care of them, so a devotee doesn't have to worry about them. So some special care is given to family members of a devotee, even though they're non-devotees. Is it right? Anyone checking? 119.35. It's always good to have a reference. And otherwise anyone can say anything and get away with it. Isn't it? Are we looking? What's the starting? 119? 35? Always good to hear it from Prabhupada himself. Is that right? Well, then you speak it because I'm nice and loud.
So Prabhupada's purport says that, maybe I'll read the translation as well. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers. Prabhupada's purport: a pure and exclusive devotee of the Lord serves his family interest more dexterously than others who are attached to the illusory family affairs. But the part that Maharaj was referring to is here. The Lord gives special protection to the family members and descendants of a devotee, even though such members are themselves non-devotees. Maharaj Prahlad was a great devotee of the Lord, but his father Hiranyakashipu was a great atheist and declared enemy of the Lord. But despite all this, Hiranyakashipu was awarded salvation due to his being the father of Maharaj Prahlad. The Lord is so kind that he gives all protection to the family members of his devotee, and thus the devotee has no need to bother about his family members, even if one leaves such family members aside to discharge devotional service.
So that's confirmed, huh? I got it right. Although I'm getting older. according to Bhagavatam, one's intelligence becomes disrupted and one's memory becomes shortened. But still, I was able to remember. So thank you all very much. Know with great faith that your family members, that means family members you never even met. Going back 200 years, there wasn't photography. But they're also benefited. So thank you, and I encourage you to partake in this distribution of books. It's very dear to Prabhupada, and giving out books is a very important service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Nitai Gaura Hari ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Let's have a little kirtan.